Hello everyone, my name is Yogananda RC and I am currently pursuing my MBA in Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering. So today my topic is capital rationing. What do you mean by capital rationing? Capital rationing is defined as the process of placing a limit on the extent of new projects or investments that a company decides to undertake. This is made possible by placing much higher cost of capital for the consideration of the investments or by placing a ceiling on a particular proportion of a budget. Capital rationing is the process through which companies decide how to allocate their capital among different projects. Given that their resources are not limitless, the main goal is to maximize the return on their investment. For example, hard capital rationing represents rationing that is being imposed on a company by circumstances beyond its control. For example, a company may be restricted from borrowing money to finance new projects because it has suffered a downgrade in its credit rating. Objectives of capital rationing. Capital rationing is the process through which companies decide how to allocate their capital among different projects. Given that their resources are not limitless, the main goal is to maximize the return on investment. There are two main types of capital rationing: hard rationing and soft rationing. Hard rationing, when the need for capital restrictions comes from outside sources such as a company's lender. For example, if a company has trouble raising funds through debt or equity, it may need to cut expenses and ration capital to raise enough money for the future projects. Soft rationing, when capital is restricted based on internal policies and limitations, is called internal rationing. What are the advantages of capital rationing? Capital rationing can have several advantages for businesses, including resource optimization by directing resources to projects with the highest expected returns. Capital rationing ensures that limited funds are allocated efficiently. Risk mitigation, prioritizing investments based on their risk return profiles can help mitigate overall risk exposure and reduce the likelihood of financial losses. Factors led to capital rationing. Some factors that can lead to capital rationing include higher debt in the company's books, increased cost of capital for higher funding requirements, internal management restrictions, lack of human resources or knowledge to take on all projects. Which technique is used for capital rationing? Various methods are used in capital rationing, such as the net present value method, internal rate of return method, profitability index method, and payback period method. These methods help companies evaluate which investment projects will yield the highest returns. Problems faced. There are two reasons why competing projects may be mutually exclusive. There is inadequate space to build two buildings or house large equipment. There is insufficient financial resources to finance both. We refer to this problem as a capital rationing problem. How do you solve capital rationing? There are certain steps a business tends to follow under multi-period capital rationing. Forecast the available capitals for each period, calculate the profitability index for each project, divide the capital budget among all periods taking into account the capital availability and the capital requirements. Conclusion. Capital rationing is a critical aspect of capital budgeting that helps businesses make informed investment decisions when faced with limited resources. By implementing the capital rationing strategies, companies can prioritize projects, optimize resource allocation, and ultimately enhance their financial performance. Thank you. Have a nice day.